In this installment, we're going to be going over the MLB bet slate for Tuesday, July 9th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our July 9th MLB bet slate we got going on for Tuesday. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 6.87 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we are well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. So everyone already subscribed, continue to do so. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a broader audience. If you're not subscribed right now, you are 100% missing out on a community that we're building on YouTube and on Patreon as well. All right, now, speaking of that Patreon, if you want to get signed up for daily bets, for futures, and have access to that community chat, you sign up right now for that Patreon link provided down below. I just published the Euro Cup final, who I think is going to win the Euro Cup as well. So we got the World Series future in the Patreon, and we have the Euro Cup, who I think is going to win it all for the Euro Cup here. There's only 4 teams left. I have that in their Patreon as well, so get signed up right now. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game up on the Tuesday slate, we're going to be in Comerica Park here. Detroit Tigers 42-48 going against the Cleveland Guardians 56-32. Looking at the current odds right now, we have the Cleveland Guardians as road favorites here, -140 on that money line, with the comeback of the Detroit Tigers at a +120. The total is set at 8.5 for this pitching matchup here. Okay, we got Ben Lively, who's been absolutely phenomenal this year for the Guardians. Does pitch better at home. He is 8-4 with a 3.14 ERA and a 1.16 WHIP. Going up against Kenta Maeda, 2-5 with a 6.71 ERA and a 1.52 WHIP. So this matchup is very interesting. Both of these guys are complete opposites. One more than the other with drastic wise, because if you're looking at Kenta Maeda, he is a gas can technically, but that's mainly on the road. All right, his home ERA has been pretty solid. If you're looking at his ERA on the road, it is at 10.29. That is absolutely horrible. 10.29 road ERA. At home, his ERA is at a 3.71. So much better pitcher at home in Detroit. More of a pitcher's park anyway, okay? Ben Lively, he's been phenomenal for this team. Very strong at home as well. But there are some raised numbers when you're looking at his expected numbers on the road against lefties and righties. So we see it's looking like some regression is going to come to the side of Ben Lively. It's going to be interesting to see if it's going to be this game here, because this is an in-division matchup. All right. So I'm going to be leaning towards the over 8.5. I'll go right back to that over, because if I believe the Detroit Tigers can get to Ben Lively, and I despite the fact that Kenta has been strong, there's still some raised numbers here against righties. A 2.25 home run per 9, a 297 batting average, a 1.56 whip, and an xFIP at 5.26. So despite the fact he pitches better at home, this is a Cleveland Guardians offense that is very, very potent, and I do expect them to score runs against him. So top play, over 8.5, and I would slightly lean with the Guardians on the money line yet again for this game here. Next up in Great American Small Park here, we have the Cincinnati Reds 42-48 going against the Colorado Rockies 32-58. For the odds right now for this game, Cincinnati Reds home favorites -165 on the money line, with the comeback of the Colorado Rockies at a +140. Pitching matchup here. Cal Quantrill is 6-6 with a 3.77 ERA, a 1.33 WHIP, going against Frankie Montas, 4-6 with a 4.19 ERA and a 1.32 WHIP. For this pitching matchup here, Cal Quantrill, I'll start with him first. His road ERA is a 3.58, so not too bad. It's okay. But he does have issues against righties, and in this ballpark, that ball can fly off the bat here against righties. A 1.91 a 1.91 home run per nine, a 291 batting average, a 1.41 WHIP, and the xFIP is almost 5 at 4.80. So those are causes concerns here. He goes from a place where he struggles in Colorado to another place, a ballpark where runs are plenty in Cincinnati. So it does look strong for the side of the Reds. If we're looking at Frankie Montas, he's been decent this year. His issue is against lefties. He's given up a 319 batting average, a 1.66 WHIP, and the xFIP is at 4.02. So expected numbers a little bit lower than Quantrill's. But he is going to see 4 to 5 lefties in this lineup. So I'm going to be leaning towards the over 8.5 in this one as well, with two very questionable pitchers on the mound. More so the Quantrill than Frankie Montas. But the fact that the Rockies are going to be throwing some lefties at him, and that's one of his weak points, then I like the over 8.5. All right. If I had to choose a winner here, Cincinnati, I think they're going to try to continue and take advantage of the bullpen of the Rockies here. Give me the Reds on that money line as well, the minus 165. Next up in Fenway Park here, we have the Boston Red Sox 49-40 going against the Oakland Athletics 34-58. Current odds right now, we have Boston's Red Sox minus 195 on that money line with the comeback of the Oakland A's at a plus 165. Pitching matchup here, Joey Estes going against Brian Bello. Estes 3-3 with a 4.39 ERA, a 1.12 WHIP. Bello is 8-5 with a 5.19 ERA and a 1.45 WHIP. All right. So for the A's here, Joey Estes has some really, really big home road splits. 1.91 home ERA compared to a 7 ERA on the road. So this is a spot where the bats of the Red Sox can attack Estes here. And his lefty numbers on the road are very, very drastic here. 3.38 home run per nine. Batting average at a 333, a WHIP at 2.34, and an xFIP at 5.77. So he's pretty much a gas can on the road here. He loves the confines of Oakland Coliseum. But this here in Red Sox land in Fenway Park with that wall, this is a very positive spot here for the Red Sox bats. If we're looking at Bello on the other hand, he has issues at home. His home ERA is a 6.21. Lefties at home, he's given up a 1.32 home run per nine, a 1.61 WHIP, xFIP at 5.25, and against righties, bad as well, a 300 batting average, a 1.70 WHIP, and he's going to see at least 3 lefties. So on both sides, he's struggling against lefties and struggling against righties. This is another spot where we're going to be going towards the over 9.5 runs. That's a pretty high total anyway because they understand these two type of pitchers here. So give me the over as one of my favorite plays here, over 9.5. And this could be a upset spot here. After coming off that Yankees series win, I'll be considering that plus 1.5 on Oakland. But the top play here, give me the over 9.5 runs. At Busch Stadium here, we have the St. Louis Cardinals 47-42 going up against the Kansas City Royals 49-43. Looking at the current odds right now, we have the St. Louis Cardinals as slight favorites at home, minus 120, with the comeback of the Royals at an even number. For the total, 8.5. That's what it's set at. For the pitching matchup, we have Michael Wacha going up against Andre Pallante. Wacha is 5-6 with a 3.74 ERA, a 1.22 WHIP. Pallante is 4-3 with a 4 ERA and a 1.44 WHIP. All right, so for Wacha, he's been very serviceable all year long. He has very low batting average and WHIP against both lefties and righties. He does have a little bit of an issue here with the home runs to lefties. All right, And the benefit for the Cardinals here, they have plenty of lefties. They're going to throw out 5 lefties against Michael Wacha, so you can see some home runs coming their way. They got Burleson, they got Gorman, they got so many lefties here that they can throw at Michael Wacha here. Palante on the other side, he's a righty pitcher that can't throw to righty, so I usually don't like those guys. That's like a Griffin Canning. He's a righty that can't pitch to righties. He's given up a batting average of 350, a whip at 2.14, a BABIP at 406, which is alarming, and the xFIP is at a 5.46. So across the board here, I'm going to be on the side of the Kansas City Royals. I understand that there's some pretty bad numbers if you dig deep a little bit on both sides. So I'm going to go with the under in this one. Give me the under 8.5. I think Michael Wacha can limit the lefties of the Cardinals, but I do think KC can put up some numbers against Palante. So give me the Royals at that even money line and give me the under 8.5. At Minute Maid Park here, we have the Houston Astros 46-44 going against the Miami Marlins 32-58. Current game odds right now, we have Houston Astros as pretty sizable favorites, -200, with the comeback of the Miami Marlins +170. Total runs is set at 8.5. For the probable pitchers here, Trevor Rogers, lefty, against Ronel Blanco, who has been a revelation for the Astros here. Looking at their numbers, Rogers is 1-9 with a 4.91 ERA, a 1.6 WHIP. Blanco 8-3 with a 2.53 ERA and a 1.01 WHIP. For Trevor Rogers, he's an absolute gas can versus righties. He's given up a 1.67 home run per 9, a batting average at 280, and the WHIP is at a 1.39. The xFIP is almost 5 at 4.99 as well. So these Astros bats are in a very good spot. And Blanco, he came onto the scene, had that perfect game. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year with the strikeout stuff he's putting forth as well. His only issue is a little bit of power to right-handed bats. But this is a perfect spot here for the Houston Astros to take over a lesser opponent in the Marlins. Give me the Astros at money line. Give me the Astros -1.5. And for the total here, do the Marlins score runs is the real question. I'll go with the under 8.5 as well. Next up in Chase Field, Arizona Diamondbacks 45-45 going against the Atlanta Braves 49-39. Looking at the current odds right now, we have the Atlanta Braves slight favorites -125 on the money line with the comeback of the Diamondbacks at a +1.5. So road favorites here for the Braves. Pitching matchup, Charlie Morton against Zach Gallen. Morton is 5-5 with a 3.96 ERA, a 1.25 WHIP. And Zach Gallen is 6-4 with a 3.06 ERA and a 1.11 WHIP. All right. So far this year, Charlie Morton has been very good this year. Now, let's bring that back. He hasn't been very good. He's been serviceable. He's been okay. All right. A 4.28 ERA on the road. D-backs are mediocre against righties as well. This is a team that definitely, when you see them going up against the lefty, you want to attack. Against righties, they come down to earth a little bit here, despite the fact this is an offensive minded park here in Arizona. But we do have a duel here between Morton and Gallen. So hopefully Morton can stand up to the test to Zach Gallen here in this game against the Diamondbacks. He should be able to take advantage of the struggles of the Diamondbacks against righties. Okay, Zach Gallen has been absolutely phenomenal this year. His ERA is 1.72 at home, which is shocking because the majority of this rotation has struggled at home. And that does not count for Zach Gallen because he's a top-tier talent in the MLB as a pitcher, okay? So this spot here, I'm going to go with the under 7.5 here. Vegas respects the total right there. Usually it's 8 to 9 range here in Arizona. They already knew it off the bat. They posted it at 7.5. So we're going to go with the under 7.5 in this game. And I'm going to go with I think Charlie Morton goes a little bit longer. That bullpen's a little bit stronger. And I think a clutch moment is going to come from Atlanta. Give me the Braves here on the money line at -125 as well. Last but not least here, we have the Seattle Mariners, who are 49-43, going against the San Diego Padres in Petco Park, 49-45. Looking at the current odds right now, Mariners are road favorites, -145, with the comeback of the Padres at a +125. Total runs set at 7.5. All right. Looking at this here, we have a pitching matchup. Logan Gilbert, phenomenal this year, ace. For Mariners, going up against Adam Mazur, who has struggled. But when we're looking at this, the record, Gilbert is 5-5 with a 2.91 ERA, a .92 WHIP. Mazur is 1-2 with a 7.52 ERA and a 1.82 WHIP. All right, we're going to start off with Adam Mazur. He does have some pretty big home road splits. All right, he pitches better on the road, but in Petco Park, his ERA is a 10.66. So this is a big spot here. The Mariners should be salivating in this spot. And he has major issues against lefties, all right? So this is where you want to attack Mazur at home here. And his numbers against lefties, a 3.00 home run per 9, a 370 batting average, a whip at 267, and an xFIP at 8.41. xFIP at 8.41. This one is a slam dunk here. I don't even think I want to even talk about Logan Gilbert because how good he's been this year. On the road, his ERA is a 2.75, so that's below his current stats right now this year. And his only issue is power to righties. That's it. Slight issue there. But Gilbert, Mariners against Mazur here. This should be a spot where we sweep the board for the Mariners. Moneyline Mariners, -1.5 Mariners, and I'm going to be going towards the over 7.5 in this one here as well. All right, so those are going to be our selections for the Tuesday slate in MLB. Let me know in that comment section down below what are going to be your plays. Do you agree? Do you disagree what I'm going with for Tuesday? Throw some props down there as well. Also, if you want to be signed up and get linked up with that Patreon, remember, we have future bets, we have daily bets, and we have the access to the community chat as well that's going crazy each and every night. All right, so if you want to sign up for that, go to that link provided down below, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right, peace out.